Hey there, welcome back to Paper Made Me Do It. Today I'm doing a 2-page spread in my Hobonichi Cousin Avec. I use it as a daily journal, sometimes for memory keeping, other times it kind of becomes a commonplace book. But the spread that I'll be doing today has a theme of thankfulness and gratitude in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And since we're talking about Thanksgiving, I just wanted to take a quick minute before I get into the spread and just express how thankful I am for all of you. I started this channel about 3 weeks ago. I was nervous and clueless about making and editing videos. I'm still not completely comfortable yet talking on camera. I'm sure that comes through from time to time. But hopefully with time and practice, I'll get more comfortable on camera and hopefully can just relax a little and let my true self shine through. But in the meantime, so many of you have already subscribed to my channel, liked my videos, and commented on the videos. And some of you have even taken the time to reach out to me on Instagram or through private messaging and give me compliments and constructive feedback and criticism. And I just can't even begin to tell y'all how much I appreciate that. So I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. So let's get into the spread now. I'm just throwing down, obviously very messy-like, some background watercolor to give the page a background. And I also love the way that watercolor looks and feels on the Tomoe River paper after you use it in the Hobonichi planners. So I started out with kind of a golden color, added a little green, and I'm just throwing in some browns here, kind of sticking with a fall color palette. These are some Daniel Smith watercolors that come in the small tubes, and I had just added them to a little plastic travel watercolor palette some time ago. So after I got the messy watercolor down, I used my crafting heat gun to dry it quickly. And now I'm just going to go in and add a little more texture to the background with this rubber stamp. I found it at Hobby Lobby some time ago, and I'm inking it up with a light kind of mustard yellow color that is a Versa Magic ink. I didn't want it to be too overpowering because I wanted to be able to write on top of it. So you can see that it's there, but it just kind of blends into the page a little bit too. The Versa Magic ink is really good to use on Tomoe River paper because it's not alcohol based, so it won't bleed through the pages like some other inks will. I'm just moving my pencil board over behind the opposite page to help the stamp show up as clearly as possible. One more time. Okay, so I like the way that turned out. So now I'm going in with my Kaweco brass fountain pen. I believe it's a fine nib. And I don't have converters for my Kawecos, so I just use ink cartridges. And this cartridge ink is called Terracotta, I believe. I will find out for sure and link it in the description box below. But it's just kind of a brown shade of ink. And then after I made those messy circles to kind of resemble a wreath, I'm going in and just adding different layers of doodle leaves. I'm doing it randomly, but at the same time trying to keep it somewhat evenly spaced. The first layer was just tiny little buds, and then that second layer is a larger leaf shape. And then I go in with one more third layer of leaves. And this one's kind of a medium in between size compared to those first two layers. Just trying to make everything look somewhat even. Not perfect, but balanced. It is just a doodle, but okay, now I'm going in for the last layer and just doing some random little clusters of 3 circles to simulate berries. So we've got a little fall wreath situation going on, and I'm gonna go in now with a Pentel Touch sign pen and put some text inside the wreath. I'm just using a simple kind of a block pattern and then hand lettering the last word. Now the Pentel sign touch pens or touch sign pens, however it's called, they are basically like a hard tip brush pen. So when you put more pressure down on the downstrokes, you can get the thicker strokes to give you that nice look with hand lettering. This is a little turkey stamp that I found that reminded me of Thanksgiving. Use the same color ink as I did in that first round of stamping. This is a little rubber stamp that has thankful in script. So I went in with kind of a greenish color ink for it. And then this one says grateful. I ended up using kind of a bluish shade of ink. And all of these little teardrop Versamagic ink pads that I used came in one large set. So I will also link that set in the description below. Now I'm going in with the orange Pentel Touch sign pen and just printing the words Thanksgiving Day. (2019). And then I use that same orange color to color in the open spots of that text. Now, initially, I had in my mind that I would color in all of the items on the wreath with watercolor, but thankfully I realized before I tried that the ink cartridge that's in that Kaweco pen is not waterproof. So had I tried to go in with watercolor on top of that, it would have bled and made a bit of a mess. So instead, I decided to just keep using those Pentel touch pens and go in with some different colors. So went in with green on the smallest leaves, kind of a gold color on the largest leaves, and then I'm finishing up the last layer of leaves with yellow. And I did not have a darker maroon color for the berries. I think that would have been really pretty. So I just went in with what I had, which is just a traditional bright red. And finished up all that coloring. Now I'm going in with my Traveler's Company brass fountain pen and just randomly jotting down some different topics around the page of things that I'm thankful and grateful for. And I switched out pens to a TWSBI Eco, and this one has Noodler's Apache Sunset ink. So it's a really pretty kind of orangey brown color ink. And then this last pen that I'm jotting with came in last month's the Stationery box, which is a monthly subscription. So I will link that in the description box below in case you're interested in checking it out. It's a really neat monthly subscription that is put on by Mitts, who is also My Life with Mitts here, or maybe it's just My Life Mitts here on YouTube. But she sends out a monthly subscription box that is full of Japanese stationery products. So it is really cool. Now I'm moving on to the second page of the spread, and I'm going to fill it with different quotes that I found online this morning. I just put the word thankful into my Google search bar and came up with several quotes that I like. Now, I know that a lot of my viewers do not read or speak English, so I'm going to read them all aloud, and hopefully the YouTube, subtitles. Hopefully the subtitles will work out for you. So the first one says, "Keep your eyes open to your mercies. The man who forgets to be thankful has fallen asleep in life." Robert Louis Stevenson. I'm using that same TWSBI Eco pen with the Noodler's Apache Sunset. It's a really nice ink, and the broader nib that you use, you can actually get some shading from it as well. I think this is a medium nib in this pen. So I'm not sure how to pronounce this man's last name, but this quote says, "Thankfulness is the quickest path to joy." Jefferson Bet. Okay, and now I'm using the Coeco Brass Sport again with that brown ink, terracotta. And this one says, "Cultivate the habit of being grateful for every good thing that comes to you, and give thanks continuously. And because all things have contributed to your advancement, you should include all things in your gratitude." Ralph Waldo Emerson. And this is a Coeco Sport with a black ink cartridge. "Don't let the sun go down without saying thank you to someone, and without admitting to yourself that absolutely no one gets this far alone." Stephen King. Okay, this is a TWSBI Eco with a fine nib and Noodler's black ink, which is bulletproof and waterproof. And this quote says, "Reflect upon your present blessings, of which every man has many, not on your past misfortunes, of which all men have some." Charles Dickens. And this is a Pilot ink. I'll try to link all the inks in the description box. "Be present in all things and thankful for all things." Maya Angelou. "The heart that gives thanks is a happy one, for we cannot feel thankful and unhappy at the same time." Douglas Wood. And this is my recent purchase of a Y Studio fountain pen that I'm still absolutely loving. "When life is sweet, say thank you and celebrate. And when life is bitter, say thank you and grow." Shauna Nyquist. And if you can't tell already, I just love using these block letters. I use them quite often, but I think they're just cute and they're quick and easy to do. "Rest and be thankful." William Wordsworth. This is that same beautiful Pilot ink that I used on the Maya Angelou quote. And This one's super cute. You ought to be thankful a whole heaping lot for the places and people you're lucky you're not. Can't help but read it in that sing-song voice. Dr. Seuss. Takes me back to reading books to my kids every night at bedtime when they were tiny. Miss those days. I never met a bitter person who was thankful or a thankful person who was bitter. And here's another last name I'm going to butcher, but it's Nick Vujicic, maybe? Let all your thinks be thanks. W.H. Auden. Back to that terracotta ink. It's a funny thing about life. Once you begin to take note of the things you are grateful for, you begin to lose sight of the things that you lack. Germany, Kent. And then in that last small square space, I just wrote hashtag thankful. And when I was done with the quotes page, I went in and just added a few small strips of washi to both of the pages. And that is it for this spread. So if you're celebrating Thanksgiving today, I hope you're having a great day. We should all be grateful every day anyway. I thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.